Center to convert 2,000 agri-societies into low-cost pharmacies. The Union government has identified 2,000 primary agricultural credit societies, PACs, to serve as Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras, which are low-cost pharmacies selling unbranded medicines, which officials said would bolster last-mile healthcare delivery. 1,000 centers will start functioning by August and the next 1,000 by December this year, an official said, declining to be named.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
This year, an official said, declining to be named. The move follows a plan to diversify these farm service points and an agreement overseen by Home Minister Amit Shah and Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. The Cooperation Ministry, also headed by Shah, is currently ramping up a drive to digitize PACs, which act as last-mile financial institutions for millions of farmers, which will enable them to diversify their business activities. The Pradhan Mantri Bhartiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana was launched by the Chemicals and Fertilizers Ministry headed by Mandavia in November 2008 to make quality generic medicines available at affordable prices. These dispensing facilities sell generic drugs that are 50 to 90% cheaper than branded drugs. The center has rolled out changes to revamp the cooperative sector. At the heart of the overhaul is the plan to digitize PACs. India has nearly 800,000 cooperatives with a total membership base of about 290 million individuals, including banks, sugar mills, and businesses.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
1,000 cooperatives with a total membership base of about 290 million individuals, including banks, sugar mills, and businesses, such as fertilizer maker IFFCO and milk brand Amul. Cooperatives are collectives jointly owned by participating members who share profits and losses. To be eligible to dispense drugs under the scheme, a primary cooperative society needs at least 120 square foot space, either privately owned or rented. The application fee for a Jan Aushadhi Kendra is 5,000 Indian rupees. Women entrepreneurs, differently abled citizens, and scheduled castes and tribes get priority under special category. All fees are waived off for applications from the special category, the official said. All fees are waived off for applications from the special category, the official said.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Green Party announces income guarantee plan to help households meet rising costs. The Green Party has announced its own plan for households to meet rising costs, with an income guarantee that will ensure no one gets less than $385 a week in their pocket after tax, funded through higher taxes on top earners, trusts and businesses. The party's co-leader Marama Davidson said for couples, the income guarantee would be at least $770, while a single parent would always have an income of at least $735.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Would always have an income of at least $735. This will give everyone peace of mind that they can always afford the weekly shop, pay the rent, or cover unexpected costs, even when times are tough, she said. It will be funded through changes to the tax system which include a new top rate of income tax of 45% on income over $180,000 and a 2.5% wealth tax on assets. Read the full policy document here. However, anyone earning under $125,000 would pay less tax as a result, with a tax-free threshold of $10,000. Davidson said it was a transformational new way of doing income support to lift every family out of poverty. The income guarantee is fully funded through fair and simple changes to the tax system that unlock the resources we need. Every dollar will come from those most able to contribute, while those on the lowest incomes will pay less. Overall, the Ending Poverty Plan will result in tax cuts of between $16.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
While those on the lowest incomes will pay less. Overall, the Ending Poverty Plan will result in tax cuts of between $16 and $26 a week for 3.7 million New Zealanders. The income guarantee means families will always have enough kai, or to buy the shoes and warm clothes that children need. Students will no longer have to skip meals to make ends meet and can focus on their study. And if something happens that stops people from working, there is a guaranteed income that's enough to live on. The current basic job seeker benefit is $258.50 after tax. Party co-leader James Shaw said in a wealthy country like New Zealand, there were hundreds of thousands of people who were struggling to put food on the table, or where kids have to take days off school just so they can work to help their families cover the basics. What we do to prioritize the lives and livelihoods of those who need our support the most should be the measure of every political party. In fact, I would argue that any party that stops short of promising to lift every family out of poverty, is actively choosing to make life harder for thousands of people. I am sick of the politics of excuses. Everything we need to make life better for people in Aotearoa exists. What's missing is the political willpower to use it. The time is now to lift every single family out of poverty and to pay for it with a fair tax system. Our fully costed plan will make sure everyone can pay the bills, put food on the table, and keep the house warm, Shaw said. Labour, National react to Greens proposal. In a statement, Labour Minister of Finance Grant Robertson said the party will release its own tax policy soon. All parties, including Labour, will have their tax policies to take into the election. Labour will release its policy shortly. I would note that Budget 2023 included aligning the trustee rate with the top 39% personal tax rate to make the tax system fairer. National has released a tax plan but has said it will announce a fully costed fiscal plan closer to the election in October. National's finance spokesperson Nicola Willis said the Greens' proposed move would gut the country of investment and opportunity, as businesses would flee offshore or shut up shop. You can't tax your way to a stronger economy. And it is only through a strong economy that we can lift incomes, solve the cost of living crisis and afford the public services that all Kiwis deserve. This massive tax grab by the Greens is exactly what the country doesn't need, but unfortunately it is exactly what Kiwis can expect from a Labour Greens Te Pāti Maori coalition of chaos. And it is only through a strong economy that we can lift incomes, solve the cost of living crisis and afford the public services that all Kiwis deserve. This massive tax grab by the Greens is exactly what the country doesn't need, but unfortunately it is exactly what Kiwis can expect from a Labour Greens Te Pāti Maori coalition of chaos. The Maori coalition of chaos.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Harris faces critical test on migration effort when Title 42 ends. As President Joe Biden's approach to migration at the US-Mexico border confronts its most critical test yet when Title 42 expires, his number two, Kamala Harris, will face what's likely to be her own perception problem. Aides of the vice president know the expiration of the Trump-era border restriction that allowed authorities to quickly expel migrants on public health grounds will bring with it a deluge of attacks against Harris, who leads the administration's effort to address the root cause of migration in Central America.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Administration's effort to address the root cause of migration in Central America. It's a 2-year-old task, assigned by Biden, that's placed Harris at the apex of political vulnerability, with Republicans consistently framing her as the border czar, who has not quelled the historic surge of migration in the Western Hemisphere. But Harris's staff and allies counter that the real work she and her office are doing in the Northern Triangle countries, and not the border, is making a difference. While Republicans are focusing on these border attacks, we are doing the work of governing, an administration official told 24newsread.blogspot.com. Each agency is slowly and steadily making progress on implementing what we laid out we're trying to do there. Though Harris has rejected GOP framing that she's responsible for border policy, she's struggled to change the narrative. And flare-ups at the border will come almost a month after Biden and Harris launched their 2024 re-election.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
The narrative. And flare-ups at the border will come almost a month after Biden and Harris launched their 2024 re-election bid, testing voters' opinions on this emotionally charged issue. Perception is a big part of politics, said Andrew Sallee, president of the nonpartisan think tank Migration Policy Institute, who met with the vice president in 2021. It matters for the vice president what happens over the next few weeks and the next few months. Migration from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador to the U.S. has reached notable lows since its height in 2021, while migrants from other countries like Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua have increased dramatically. Border arrests are often cited in assessing an administration's handling of the US-Mexico border, even if they are not the most apt metric, experts say. White House officials are keenly aware of that and watching closely to see if the number of migrants from Central America tick back up in the coming days and weeks, the administration official said. Publicly, the vice president's office has called the current downward trend encouraging, and privately, aides cite investments in the region under Harris's guidance as one of many factors for the drop. So far, the vice president has secured more than $4.2 billion in private sector commitments from companies as a fundamental part of her plan to incentivize would-be migrants to stay home. Around 47 entities are collaborating across financial services, textiles and apparel, agriculture, technology, telecommunications, and nonprofit sectors to bolster the region's economy, according to a White House fact sheet from February, the last major public update. Diplomatically, Harris has visited Guatemala and Honduras. She's held in-person and on the phone conversations with those counterparts, but affronts to democracy and corruption concerns have limited Harris's ability to fully engage, officials say. Harris's public events to tout the progress made in the region have waned in the last year, with her attention turned to other domestic crises like reproductive rights, voting rights, and shoring up democracy. Still, those close to the Harris say she is routinely involved. She's engaged. She knows the content. She's driving the team forward as an executive should. She gives us direction in a clear manner, Jonathan Fantini Porter, Executive Director and CEO of Partnership for Central America, which acts as a liaison between companies and the U.S. government and regularly engages with the Vice President's office. You can have a very in-depth conversation with her. She's able to talk about metrics, direction of where things are. The Vice President receives monthly updates, a source familiar with Harris's schedule said. Many times, the meetings consist of a progress review and strategic vision. But the next 48 hours and likely weeks ahead, once Title 42 is lifted, will test the credibility and efficacy of the Vice President's mission. The people who will be loudest, they're playing politics, said Dan Restrepo, a senior fellow at the Center for American Progress and former senior Obama advisor who met with the Vice President's office on this issue. Restrepo added, they aren't particularly interested in working the issue, they're interested in the political benefits. Harris's long-term plan. The Vice President's task, the first major issue assigned to her in March 2021, was billed as a long-term effort to develop a larger strategic partnership with Central American countries and stem the flow of migrants. At the time, an influx of unaccompanied minors apprehended on the U.S. southern border were from Central America, a region where major hurricanes and the coronavirus pandemic took a devastating toll. Since then, the number of border encounters from there have receded. In March 2021, border authorities encountered more than 85,000 migrants from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. During the same time period this year, the number dropped to around 34,000, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection data. In the last 2 years, the Vice President has launched 2 pillars of her long-term plan, a call to action to court businesses to invest in the region and an initiative dubbed Central America Forward, that focuses on good governance and labor rights. Ensuring good governance has been the hardest part of Harris's task due to the unfavorable conditions to foster democracy. In El Salvador, there's been concern about limiting checks and balances in government, while in Guatemala,
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
time period this year, the number dropped to around 34,000, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection data. In the last 2 years, the Vice President has launched 2 pillars of her long-term plan, a call to action to court businesses to invest in the region and an initiative dubbed Central America Forward, that focuses on good governance and labor rights. Ensuring good governance has been the hardest part of Harris's task due to the unfavorable conditions to foster democracy. In El Salvador, there's been concern about limiting checks and balances in government, while in Guatemala, there have been concerns about government corruption. And in Honduras, the election of President Xiomara Castro has not brought radical change to corruption or organized crime once believed. Combating corruption is a central pillar of our effort to address root causes of migration, and we will not waver in this, a White House official told 24newsread.blogspot.com. But the existence of corruption has not prevented us from successfully tackling additional root causes of migration. In the absence of the environment to deepen diplomatic relationships, Harris has leaned hard into private sector investments. She's courted millions from companies like Microsoft, MasterCard, Kobani, Duolingo, Nespresso, Bancolombia, and Davivienda. Microsoft pledged to expand internet access to as many as 3 million people in the region by July 2022, and Chegg, an online learning platform, has committed to certifying 100,000 young adult students in Honduras by 2030. Experts credit Harris's ability to secure private sector investments as her most visible action in the region to date. Still, those who have stake in the region question the durability of those investments over the long term without more diplomatic success in the region. If you're trying to build these relationships with these corrupt actors and you're just so focused on investment without requiring conditions to those countries, I think that's problematic, Ana Maria Mendez Darden, Director for Central America at Washington Office on Latin America, told 24newsread.blogspot.com. Harris's efforts alongside the Partnership for Central America are meant to lay down the economic groundwork now to reap major benefits for the people of Central America in the future. And the U.S. government, they say, has stepped up their own abilities to match private investments. A White House official says the administration is on track to meet its commitment under the root causes strategy to increase U.S. foreign assistance to the region by providing $4 billion over 4 years. But most, who support the vice president's efforts, have cautioned that it's likely too soon to see the real impact of those contributions in the region. I think we will only actually know if a strategy is working a few years down the road, because, again, this is a strategy that's tackling long-term systemic issues, Jason Marzak, Senior Director of the Atlantic Council's Adrian Arsht Latin America Center, told 24newsread.blogspot.com. So, the Vice President will have twin challenges, experts and allies maintain. First is to progress in her Northern Triangle task, and second, is to battle the perception that she is responsible for the border too, no matter how chaotic the situation becomes. The Vice President's big problem on this issue is that she's wanted to own the investment side, but not the border strategy, a source familiar with the Vice President's strategy told 24newsread.blogspot.com. That makes her vulnerable, the source said, because she's politically responsible for whatever happens. Second, is to battle the perception that she is responsible for the border too, no matter how chaotic the situation becomes. The Vice President's big problem on this issue is that she's wanted to own the investment side, but not the border strategy, a source familiar with the Vice President's strategy told 24newsread.blogspot.com. That makes her vulnerable, the source said, because She's politically responsible for whatever happens. She's politically responsible for whatever happens.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos. Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.